You've heard of King Herod the Great, right? The guy was a master builder. Cities, fortresses, he even rebuilt the Great Temple in Jerusalem, a legacy literally etched in stone. But what if I told you the battles that really defined his reign, the ones that would end up destroying him, weren't fought out on some dusty battlefield? No, they were fought right inside the cold marble halls of his very own palace.
And that's really the heart of the story we're diving into today. See, while Herod was out there conquering the world, his own home was turning into, well, a viper's nest, a place absolutely crawling with ambition, paranoia, and old blood feuds. We're talking about a dynasty that literally started to eat itself alive. So we're going to break this tragedy down into 4 acts. We'll start with the poisoned roots of the family conflict in Act 1. Then we'll see how that poison spreads in a terrifying war of whispers. After that, a fascinating detour with a masterclass in deception. And finally, we'll meet the man who burns it all down, the Spartan parasite. All right, let's get right into Act 1. To really get why Herod's court turned into this chamber of horrors, you have to go right back to the beginning. It all starts with a marriage, believe it or not. A political marriage that was supposed to lock down his kingdom, but instead, it planted the seeds for its complete self-destruction.
And here's the crazy thing about Herod's life, the central paradox, really. The historian Josephus, who wrote all this down, says it's almost like fortune itself looked at all of Herod's incredible successes out in the world and decided to, avenge them by unleashing total chaos inside his own house. Think about that. The more he built, the more his own family just crumbled. So where did this fracture come from? Well, here it is. Herod was brilliant. He was ruthless, no doubt. But he was an outsider. His wife, on the other hand, Mariamne, she was the real deal. A princess from the Hasmonean dynasty. That's the legitimate royal family that Herod had kicked out. So you see the problem, right? He had all the power, but she had the royal blood. He was especially threatened by her 17-year-old brother. When the people saw this handsome kid and went wild for him, Herod just smiled and then secretly had him accidentally drowned in a palace swimming pool. Yeah.
So we're not just talking about political tension here. The whole marriage was built on a foundation of murder. And the craziest part? Herod was obsessively in love with Mariamne. But she hated his guts, and for good reason. He'd killed her grandfather and her brother. Then there's the secret order. Before a trip, Herod tells his guy, "If I don't make it back, kill Mariamne immediately, so no other man could ever have her." When she found that out, she realized his love was just a possessive death sentence. I mean, can you even imagine the dinner conversations in that palace?
Okay, Act 2, the War of Whispers. So you can see how this poisonous legacy was set up. And that kind of hatred, it doesn't just die with one person. Oh no. It gets passed down, like a cursed inheritance to the next generation. And that's when a new player comes onto the scene, someone who knows exactly how to weaponize all that resentment. And here they are, the heirs, Alexander and Aristobulus, the sons of the murdered Queen Mariamne. For Herod, these boys are walking, talking ghosts. They have their mother's royal blood, the one thing he can never have. And as they grow up, they make no secret of how much they despise their father. To a paranoid king like Herod, they aren't just sons, they're a constant, living threat to his crown. So, you're Herod, you're a paranoid king, and you know your own sons, the ones with the royal blood, despise you. What's your move? How do you control them? Well, Herod's answer is to fight fire with fire. He brings his other son, Antipater, back from exile to basically be a weapon against them. And Antipater, he goes to work. He starts this war of whispers, flooding the court with lies. The palace descends into pure terror. Herod starts torturing people for information. And finally, Prince Alexander gets cornered. Facing certain death, he makes this wild, desperate move. He writes a sarcastic confession implicating everyone in Herod's inner circle. The whole court just freezes. So the whole court is paralyzed. Herod is furious, and he's about to execute his sons. It's a total madhouse. And into this chaos walks Archelaus, the king of Cappadocia, who happens to be Prince Alexander's father-in-law. Now this guy, he's a master of deception. He hears his son-in-law is on death row, but instead of begging for his life, he does the exact opposite. He storms in and acts even more outraged than Herod, condemning Alexander. A total gambit. And this is a masterclass in reverse psychology. First, he feigns this incredible rage, completely shocking Herod. The king is so stunned, he actually starts defending his own son. Well, maybe it wasn't all his fault. And that's when Archelaus pivots. He skillfully shifts all the blame onto other courtiers, saving the princes without shedding a single drop of blood. He uses lies to bring peace. Just brilliant. So Archelaus brings this fragile peace to the court, but it doesn't last, because a new player arrives, a corrupt Spartan named Eurycles. He's not here to save anyone, he's just here to get rich. He befriends Prince Alexander, gets him to vent all his frustrations about his father, and then runs straight to Herod, twisting every word. He tells the king Alexander is planning to kill him. And his lies are so poisonous, they lead directly to this moment of pure paranoia, where Herod actually hallucinates his son, coming at him with a drawn sword.
And when a king is seeing phantom assassins in his own mind, well, the end is near. Based on these fabricated plots whispered by Eurycles, and likely backed up by more forced confessions from tortured servants, King Herod does the unthinkable. Prince Alexander is seized and bound.
It's a chilling image, isn't it? The whispers have literally become chains. The poison that was just swirling around the court is now official, state-sanctioned policy. The war of words is over, and the war of iron has begun. It's incredible to think about. You had one man, Archelaus, who used deception to save lives, and then another, Eurycles, who used it to shatter the family, all for a bag of gold. The fragile peace is gone for good. The trap has been sprung, and it leaves you with this one final question. In a court that consumes its own, what hope is there for the sons of the queen?